I'm just gonna set up. Some reason the YouTube was a little bit slow. I'm just setting up here the screen. I think I used NetBeans. So I just need to start up a NetBeans here as well. Okay, so where's NetBeans? Okay, I'm just starting up NetBeans here, so it won't be slow when we actually get started with the tutorial, so don't waste your time. Setting up NetBeans here. Okay, yeah, so this is NetBeans. As you can see, that's good. I'll minimize NetBeans here, and the last thing I need to create a folder so we can do the work. Where is, can I make it my tutorials folder? And okay, so I'll just call it, what's this one? JS QR code links. Okay, good. So I have a folder here, and I think I'll just touch. I'll open a terminal here, and I'll just do a touch. What do you call it? QR codes.html. Okay, let's minimize this. Audio check should be okay. And need to minimize this so we can do a chat. And I think we should be good to go. Just a second here. Oh, I need to create some barcodes. Where's my mouse? Come on. Okay. I just need to create some barcodes as well. Just give me a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so greetings. This is Edodo Jumbo. So in this tutorial, oh, just a second. I have to start again. Forget that. 5, 4, 3, 1. Greetings. This is Edodo Jumbo. In this tutorial, I'm going to continue on with the HTML5 barcode detection API, which is a browser native API. So what we're going to do is, last time all we did was just we decoded a whole bunch of barcodes. At least with this API, it comes with 13 of the most popular barcodes, so you can detect them. But the problem is, yes, we can detect them, but we need to do something with them. So for example, this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to look for links, and then we're going to have we're going to create something where maybe a pop-up will come up, and then if the person it's an alert or a confirmation box dialog, and then when the person says yes, then it will open the link. So that's what we're going to do in this tutorial. So the code will be exactly the same as last time, except that we're going to parse. So one thing we need to do is, how do we determine what a link is? Is a link going to be something that has an exact protocol like HTTP or HTTPS? Because sometimes a valid link could be, for example, if it's with a tel, to open a phone number, especially on desktop and on your mobile phones. This is another one, could be the mail to. That one usually opens your default mail client. These days it could be either an online one like say Gmail or whatever, or it could be something like Thunderbird, either on the mobile phone or your desktop or something else. So that's also a valid URL. So how do we determine what is a valid link? Is it going to be, are we going to restrict it just to, as I said, a specific protocol, or are we going to allow others to open up? So, so the good news is, if you're using a relatively modern web browser, there's actually all this is a kind of built-in where we can actually use, literally it's called the URL. We validate the URL first. We don't have to do much for that. So why am I doing this? Obviously, one of the reasons is I got inspired because at the time of making this video in 2025 is that a lot of countries have an adversarial relationship with the US. So one of the things people, for example, here I am in Canada, one of the things people want to determine is what is the country of the manufacturer for when they buy a product, usually food. So so that's what inspired this entire series. But in this particular case, we're just going to look for links. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how we can actually get how we can find the origin of the manufacturer for the device. So so once again, as you can see in this thumbnail here, basically you can use your all modern mobile phones, especially if they have a relatively modern web browser, they will be able to use this barcode detection API. It's built in natively, so you don't need to do anything. However, if you're using an older device, or for example, if you're on a desktop, as of today, at the time of this recording, no desktop web browsers have this API built in. So we need to use a polyfill. If you don't understand what a polyfill is, I explain it here. A polyfill is simply just implements a new standard feature that is not natively supported in the web browser. That's what a polyfill does. So the good thing is this, by having this, then it will be able to work on a desktop and also on the mobile devices which don't have the built-in one. So then these are the devices I'm using as a scanning devices. So basically you need a device with a camera. So obviously this mobile phone, this one is the Sony Xperia XA1 Ultra. It's from 2017. So it's no longer my daily driver, but it still works. As you saw, I'm also using it as the webcam device, chicken webcam device. And this is my daily driver. It's a Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G. So obviously I can't use that one. I mean, I can use that one for this particular application, but not for the chicken webcam because it's my daily driver. And then obviously on my desktop, I have this Logitech HD webcam C525. It's an HD, meaning it's a 1280 by 720 pixel device. But for some reason, sometimes it gets detected as full HD, but that's neither here or there. So you can use basically any webcam, or I said any device, anything with a camera will be able to work as long as it's connected to some type of computing device where this code we're going to do today is going to work. So basically anything with a web browser. So the good thing about barcodes, they're usually very they're not high resolution, they're low resolution. So as I said, like literally probably any webcam today will work. Even like I said, this webcam here, I bought it, I believe, in 2000, either 2010 or 2011. I bought it then, so you know it's been there for a very long time. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm gonna do is you can use, if you want to generate, we're going to use QR codes. So if you want to get QR codes, I've already done reviews of this. So you can use this one, the lib encode library. Here's a link to get it, or you can use the Zint library. So the difference between these two is that this lib QR encode, it only encodes QR codes. That's all it does, and it's a command line tool. This Zint one also comes with something called Zint Barcode Studio, so you can have a GUI to create them using graphical user interface, or you want to do it from the command line. And then because we need to use the camera, so if you want this on a network or something, you will need some type of SSL certificate if you don't want to use Turnlink if you're on Android. So that's why this Sterno is here. I also have tutorials I've done this, and obviously I'm going to use PHP. That's to serve it. So this way you can test it on your phone and things like that. Okay, so let's get started with the coding because I think I've yapped a little bit too much. So I'm going to take this out of the way and bring up where's NetBeans. So I'm going to bring up NetBeans here. So we just need one file. So I'm going to drag that file here. Yeah, so it's QR codes, and I'm going to zoom in. I believe it's Alt key. Yes, so Alt key, so you'll see what I'm doing. So what we need is we need to create some barcodes as well. So this is the folder I have here. So I'll just open up a terminal, and I'm gonna say clear that so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a couple QR codes. So the first one is I'll use QR encode, and I'll output it to QR code 1.png, and it's simply just going to be https ojambo.com. So it's created the QR code. It will show up in a second. So if that's if you're using, oh, sorry, I forgot to zoom in here. So that's the command I typed. And if you're using Zint, if you're using the Zint barcode, you can obviously do it in Zint barcode, so Barcode Studio, but you can also use it on the command line. That's what I'm going to do here. So it's going to be QR code, and so it's going to be QR code 2.png, and the data is going to be https. I'll use the same link, jumbo.com. So they should be exactly slightly they're almost the same. The difference, as you can see here, is the QR encode. It does create a some border here, and this Zint doesn't put any border. It's like it's full. It takes the full width, doesn't put any border by default. So that's basically it. So now we have our QR code. So I already dragged this into NetBeans. Now we can actually start. We can start our barcode. So the code snippet. How much time has it been? 12 minutes. So okay, we can do this quickly. There's time. So obviously you do your doc type, HTML, and some HTML tags. Okay, then we have a head section. So I have a title, so I'll just call it QR code a link reader, and that's basically all I need. I don't need anything else in here. I will create okay, I'll just create a meta for the mobile, and I'll explain this very quickly. So that just means that it will, by default, it will, the device to be the device code, and the scale will be 1. That's all that does. And I'll just style this a little bit. So, because I'm using the I tag, so I'll make it word wrap, and I'll break the word, break word. And I'll put a display block. Come on, display block. Okay. So here we're going to create our body. Okay, I believe all we need is the eye. And then we need a video. Actually, we just need the video. We're not styling it this time. So it has to be set to muted and plays inline. This is the fix for if you have iOS devices. And then we'll have our script here. Okay. Now with our script, let me see how much time it is. Okay, we still have lots of time, so I can probably code this. This is so it runs automatically. So what I need is, I need a few variables. So this is going to be for the stream, so that we can stop the stream in a future tutorial. And this is to save the interval. Interval is always an ID, so I want to save, so that way if we stop it, we can target that ID. And actually we don't need this, and yeah, we did this one. This is how long you want the how long you want the how often you want this detector or the scanner to be working. So I set it to 100 milliseconds, which is 1 second. So the vid equals document.query query selector, and this video, and duplicate this. We need our I, set to I, and then we need some constraints. The only one we really care about is a video, so we set the video to facing mode, and we only need one so the ideal, we want it in the environment. That means that's the back camera. Comma, and then here we say audio. We don't actually need audio, so we set that to false. Okay, and then so for the formats, I'm just going to copy and paste this because I made, as we tested last time, you notice, so there's 12 of them. So I'll explain all of them here briefly. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oh, it's 13, 1. Okay, so these are the 13 ones that are available. So I'm gonna, I want all of them because sometimes the QR code might be, it might be in Aztec or data matrix. So it's good to have all of them. That's fine. Okay, and I believe this needs to be, yeah, I just need to comment. There we go. I think I went too far, but that's fine. Okay, so really all we really need for this one is just the QR code. But I put them all in there because depending on how you created your barcodes, because this is going to read all types of barcodes. So the next thing we need is we need to create our stream and get it working. So I've done this so many times, I'll just copy paste it here and I'll now explain it. So what you do is navigator, media devices, get user media, then we put our constraints in there. Then we get the stream, and then we set, remember the variable we created, we set it to the stream, and the video source object will be set to the stream, and then video play. So this will automatically preview on the screen. Now we are going to start creating some of our logic for the to check to see if we have a valid. Actually, I'm going to zoom out of here because it's really hard to, when you have a smaller screen, it's really hard to type here. Okay, so I'm going to explain this code here. I'm just pasting, copying, so I don't waste too much time. I don't want the video to be like over an hour. So what we'll do is we're going to pass in a string to check if it's a URL. And then if the browser has this variable, remember I was telling you it has a built-in URL, what it will do is it will just parse it, can parse, and if it can, that means it's true. That's why it says return. So if it's true, that means we're using the built-in functionality in the web browser to validate it's a URL. If that doesn't exist, for example, using an older web browser or one that doesn't support this, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new URL, and then so if this is true, that's why we have a try catch. So if this is true, then it will just return true because it's Boolean, right? If it's successful. If it fails, then we just return false. So that's a simple little trick we can do here as well. So in case you're wondering what the difference, so the URL is available in all browsers, but this can parse. That one is not available in some older browsers or browsers which don't have that support. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to create a function where how to detect if it's a URL or not. And remember I said we're going to have a little dialog to pop up when that happens. So this is the code here. So I just take in the string. That's basically when the barcode has detected. It's a string, so it will place the string in here. So the string will be passed to the previous function. So if you see if this is true, then what I'll do is I'll create some text. I'm using template strings. So I say please press OK to open link, and then I put whatever the link is. And then what I do is I open up a confirm dialog. So I say confirm. So if the person clicks the OK, meaning that they've confirmed it, what I do is I'll open it in a new window, whatever the value is there. Because I know, remember, it's validated to be a URL, so to open. So this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to open a website. I gave examples before. So it could be a telephone number. It could be you could open up your mail mail client. Oh, so that's how we check. Okay, so with that done, the rest of the code here is exactly the same as before. There's only one little difference, and I'll show that to you in a second. If I can copy this, come on. You gotta be kidding me! I'm not able to copy this. Okay, so I copy this. See how much time it is. I'm gonna check to see if there's a chat. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. I'll explain all this, don't worry. Okay, let me zoom back in a little bit. I'll explain this. I'm just checking to see if somebody is chatting. Okay, nobody has chatted yet. Okay, so this is the decode function. So what I do is I get the barcode detector, I get all the supported formats, and then I compare them to our the formats. Remember, we create our own formats. So I went too fast. So what I do is I get each of them. Here it's called surf. Then what I do is I create an array, an empty array called kep. Basically, it's short for keep. So what I do is I go through all of these ones, all the ones that are supported by the web browser, and then if it matches the ones in our SMT, then we then push it into this array. So then what happens is we replace our format with this one, with the kep. So because we know that's exactly what is supported by the web browser. So for example, if you notice here, I think there was 13 I put there. So let's say only 12 were supported. So in that case, then instead of having 13, it will only support 12. So if you want, you can also maybe put something, you can put a message saying, oh, sorry, that one is not supported. So you can maybe do an alert or put it in a HTML and say that's not supported. So then what I'm doing here is, you see, this is why we created that I element. So that I element, you see, I stringify it and just put all the formats there. So this is just a visual way for us. This will probably not be, I'll remove this in a future tutorial, but I'm just showing you how you can output, let the people know what format is supported, what are not. So then with all that done, the next thing we do is I create a new barcode detector variable. So I put in the formats, which are actually supported. Then I start the interval. So this is important because if I don't put this, it's only going to detect once and stop. So if it finds something, it will stop. Now, the problem with that is That is probably okay, but you can imagine if, for example, if you have a receipt, like I've shown you some receipts I've done before, they have 3 barcodes. For example, like the one I'm holding up now, which I'll show you later, it has a like a QR code, it has a barcode, and then at the bottom it has a tiny QR code as well. So if I was scanning and, for example, the camera picked up the one at the top, I wouldn't be able to get the other. So that's why I put the set interval, so the customer or whoever is using this will decide which one is the better to use. So it will be constant till it stops. So as you see, the detect is the one that actually will run the detector, the barcode detector. So it will, what we do is we go through, loop through it, and then now instead of running our check URL, because sometimes it will be a false positive, I guess you call it, where it will not detect anything. It will just be empty. For example, because it scans line by line. It's not very smart. So it scans line by line. So that's what I do is I whatever the output is, I basically JSON just stringify it and check to see if this means it's empty. So if it's empty, I ignore it. But if it's not empty, what I do is I take the B inner or en. Okay, so I guess I do need those. I should go up here and okay, I'll add those as well. These are just places to they're just what do you call them? Yeah. So these are just not variables. This are just basically placeholders. I dump content in them, but this content I said in the feature tutorial we won't need any of this. But this is just for you guys to understand what's going on. Okay, so in the B one here, we make it empty, and then when we go through each of the found whatever the data is, you see the EM, it will be the BC row value. The row value is very, very important. I'll explain to you why that is second when we actually look at the code. So the row value is actually the barcode that has been detected. And then I stringify everything here. So, and then of course, we run our check URL, and we run obviously the row value. The row value is basically the string that we want. And then this is because this is on try catch. Oh, no, this is not try catch. It's a promise. So if there's an error, it will print out the error. And the bit, remember, this is our one. I will set it to 1,000. So that's 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1 second. And catch error, an error occurred. So then after that, the last part of the code, I'm going to copy and paste here. Let me see how much time it is. Yeah, so it's already about half an hour. This is the reason I was saying if I type this, it would take way too long. But I'll explain it quickly here. Right, so okay, so here we have another function. So this function is actually very, very important. What it does is this is which will run our polyfill. So it will grab the polyfill from a CDN here. All these code snippets are on the website. I'll show you where I got them in a second when we finish the coding part. And then you see that I put another try catch, so meaning that if there's already a barcode, the window detects it by getting the supported formats, then it does nothing. And then, but if it's not, then instead it will use this barcode detector polyfill. So this is a way you can use, you can conditionally use polyfills because most of the coding you see online, they'll tell you, oh, just put it in a script file. But some of those polyfills are very, very big. Some are like 80 kilobytes or more. So if you're running a very lean app, or you don't want to load all those polyfills, you can just conditionally load them. So in this case, you see it's conditional, meaning that it's only going to be loaded when it's needed. So for example, when I run this on the desktop, it's going to be needed. So it's going to run that. But however, when if it's not needed, it will not run. So this is the condition right here. See, I check to see if barcode is in the window. So obviously this is going to be false on the desktop. So then it will run this LMD. However, everything else being on the mobile, which most likely has it, then it will run this, it will just run our decode function right away. And you see this LMD as well, it runs the decode function after this is done. Okay, so that's it. Now we should be able to run this. Let me save it first. Now it's saved. We should be able to just drag this into our web browser. So I'll open up the web browser, and as I promised, I've literally just been copying this code right from here. You see this code here? Just you hit expand and you can copy and paste it. So as I said before, so watch this. So I'm just going to drag this. This is the QR code. I'll just drag it here, and you can see immediately it's asking for permission to use the camera. This is on the desktop. Allow. So it's using the camera. Now I'm going to open up the inspector here, so hopefully you can see the console. Fail detect invalid state, line 89. I don't think I made a mistake. We'll see anyway. So I don't think I made a mistake, but I'm going to grab a QR code and put it up there. Hopefully it will detect it. Come on. Oh, sorry, I forgot. So silly. I put it on the phone. So I have to go to the phone to, let me see, the ones I put on the phone, the Samsung phones. I don't know how to get to the file manager. I guess I have to search file. Okay, there we go. So I have this one, which goes to, I think, to a Jumbo Shop. Okay, whatever, just once. Yeah, we go. So this should be detected. It's nice and simple. Okay, so there's some error messages. It looks like I might have made a spelling mistake or something. Yeah, it says B is not defined. Okay, so I don't know why it says B is not defined, because go back to our code here. Oh yeah, B is not defined. Yeah, so an EM is not defined as well. Okay, so we'll do B and EM, B and EM. So save this. Okay, come back here. I'll clear this and do a hard refresh. Okay, this should now work. I'm going to put it there. It's hard. There we go. You see, it found ojamboshop.com, and this pop-up come up. It says place OK to open the link. So I'm going to press OK. It should take us to ojamboshop.com. That part, so that should open up in a new window. But you see here, all these code snippets came up, and you see that down here, actually, let's get out of here. We don't need this anymore. So you can see this one, yeah, here, right here. You see, ojamboshop.com. So it detected it, and that pop-up came up where it would open up in a new window. The reason that doesn't work is because I am not using a web. I'm not using a protocol here. I just drag the file in here. But that does work on, say, the mobile phone, and if I actually set up a PHP server. I really don't want to set one up, but the reason I don't want to set up is because I mean, I can. It's pretty easy. I don't want to, because I'm working on the PWA, the Progressive Web App, and that one is very particular about the way it saves cookies and the manifest. So that's why I don't want to do that for this one. I do have a solution, and I'll show you guys in the future tutorials when I convert this into a PWA app as well. Okay, so as you can see, it did detect the URL, and you see it did pop up again. Let me try another one. I think the other one is, I don't know what the other one is, so let's try another one. I don't know what this one is, a different one. See, that one goes to ojamboservices.com, says please press OK. And you see it's ojamboservices.com, and I think I have another one which should be ojambo.com. Yeah, there we go. See, that one detected right away. That one goes to ojambo.com. Yeah, right here, ojambo.com. So you can see here, when I print out, see the raw value. It says HTTPS/. So that's the raw value that we send to our function, and then I'll be open up here. Now, in a future, you see all this stuff like the bounding box. You see the format here. It tells us what format that is. It's QR code, and then the corner point. So we're going to use all of these values in a future tutorial. So hopefully you join me for the next tutorial where I'll actually go and we'll detect the country of origin of the manufacturer from the barcodes. And as you can see here, this first one here, this is all the ones that's supported by the web browser. Now this one is using the polyfill. So as you can see, this is pretty much the same ones that we put in our formats. So it'll be fine. And there we go. So let's go back to the article and finish this tutorial. As you can see here, so be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. And I do host a live stream every day. You simply go to the watch menu, go to live, and then you'll be able to see all the upcoming or the current live streams. And it also shows you the channel they're going to be on. For example, this one doing right now is on YouTube, and you see the approximate date and time. So if I just refresh this page, because I think that one hasn't been updated in a while. Yeah, there we go. So that one's from yesterday, so there's a little caching. So you can see this one, and then this one is going to be finished soon, and then you can see this one is going to be the next one. So there's going to be at least 5, depending on when I bake them, but basically they should be you should be able to follow along there. So as you can see, in about 2 days' time, we'll do the barcode country of origin one. Okay, so if you do enjoy this, consider supporting me. You can purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com. You can enroll in my programming courses on ojamboshop.com. You can enroll buying my programming books on Amazon. Search for Ojambo, links in description. You can hire me for your programming and app development needs at ojamboservices.com, and you can become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. You can see the donate buttons up here in the header, and there's an icon there for your convenience. Okay, I'll stop here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.